Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus, and today we're going to be playing a bit more Factorio. I'm just going to check levels and stuff. So it seems to be coming through there. Is the game coming through? Oh, yeah, it is now. Okay. I was having some problems with it. Picking it up for some reason, but it seems to be fine now. I was watching listening to the Monaco Grand Prix. I don't have the. Are you going to come through there? It's on that one. Why has it done that again? That's very weird. The back-end software isn't picking it up as coming through until I refresh it. Let's make sure it's all muted. It's all muted. Excellent. Wrong thing. I've clicked the wrong button. There we go. Smashing. Use that to make sure the audio's on. Cool. Yes, so I was watching the Monaco Grand Prix, and unfortunately, the cars have torn part of the track up, which is obviously the Monaco streets. So it went on a red flag for the last 20 minutes, and I don't think I'm not entirely sure it's even restarted yet. So I figured I'll pick that up afterwards. Where had we got to? I noticed there's lots of mining going on, which is all very lovely. Relatively small copper patch, isn't it? We have some biters about to get hit by pollution there. We have some unknown situation here. Do I have a motor car or anything like that? Am I even vaguely close to? I should imagine not. Oh, I haven't even done. Okay. Okay. Right. So, yes. We are quite a long way, or I guess it's only 2 hours in, isn't it? So, it makes a lot of sense, but yes. Okay. Let's fill some of this out, I guess, then. I don't really have electric miners, do I know? But then, how am I short of everything there? What have we got going on science-wise then? What have we got queued up? We've got engines, okay, so we are making progress, and I've queued up level 2 belts as well. So it'd be good to get a car so that we can have an explore round and find out what's going on. Excellent. Are we playing Space Age, or is it just... It is Space Age. Yes, okay. I literally... So, for anyone that isn't aware, who's just watching the streams or catching up on the VODs or anything like that, I have joined the closed beta for version 2.1. The NDA is that I can't really talk about anything... I know what I didn't do. I didn't turn my audio down. I can't talk about anything that isn't mentioned in Friday Facts. Technically, I think I could also talk about some things that they've put on the forum and stuff. You know, because they have been doing bug fixes, obviously, and as such, they have kind of shown that some things are fixed where they weren't perhaps mentioned in the Friday Facts. So that's public knowledge as well. Got lots of iron, I think. Yeah, loads of iron. Excellent. So we can also put that in there. Get rid of it, and might as well also chuck some of that in as well. Awesome. So we do have these. I've got 100 inserters, which is clearly not going to be enough. How many have we made in a box here? It's all stopped, so it must have... Okay, so I've only got it set on 50. So we might as well grab that. That's only set on 300, so we'll grab them as well. Don't think we need the belts, but we shall see. How many stacks of iron have we got? Okay, not... In fact, why don't I put all of that iron in there? A good chunk of that copper. Maybe just that, and then we'll go and get some more iron. I could handcraft a few. We don't really need the inserters. We can just mess about filling this in. Kind of while we wait for the researchers to do. I'm going to stick on a couple of extra labs if I can fit them on. Yes, I think we should be able to fit them on. It's doing that annoying thing again. That's very annoying. Okay, so in fact we could fit several on. The issue won't be the labs themselves. In fact, maybe if I put it, it'll be producing the, you know, the potions basically. If I do that, then I could potentially put the next one up here. Cool. We are technically about to make the level 2 thing, aren't we? Level 2 assembler, so maybe I could handcraft a couple of those to feed them in. And what are we doing here? We want to put that in as well, I think. I think we still need iron in this box. Yes. Put that in, I think. Cool, so there's a good amount of resources for it to kind of chug away at. We do have fast inserters, so we could make it a little bit more efficient. Right, no, actually it's not doing that. Let's pick you up. Throw you in there. And again, take a bunch of iron plate. A little bit of copper. And I think we're happy. Do we have like level 2 armor or anything? Heavy armor? Yeah, we got that. We got shotguns, but like 10 of them. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, so changes to logistics. They've in space, specifically space logistics, they've kind of implemented a lot of stuff that when I turned up at the LAN party, I was like, well, they must have this, this, and this in. Why not? Surely they put these things in, and they hadn't. Now, some of it, I mean, things like the rocket packing and stuff, as I said in my Friday Facts video, not the biggest priority for me personally. I do get people's frustration or desire for that, but yes, for me personally, not the biggest one. But it's certainly things like planet-to-planet communication was very much. Wait, that's not in there? Why is that not in there? So I literally went in just thinking, well, you know, well, you know, it was a very much a, wait, it's not in there? Why not? It just seems obvious, you know. Even if you had like a separate building or some restriction on it or something like that, that, you know, they felt it made it too easy or something like that. But no, it just wasn't there. So yeah, so that was a nice thing to see written in the change logs. I was very pleased. The platform to platform transfer, again, very much a makes sense to be in there. That again, that's how I'd envisaged it working. You know, when I played it that first time, I was like, well, obviously, how this works is that you build a space platform, because they're called space platforms, and then you build spaceships, which maybe you kludge together out of platform pieces, because this is Factorio, and that's sort of the diesel punky, whatever, how you want to phrase it, design ethos of the game. And that's not how it worked at all. They're just completely independent platforms. It's like I don't kind of the whole drag thing was weird as well. Discovering that, but that made sense as like a gameplay thing, as in otherwise you'd have to put retro thrusters on it, and you get all Kerbal Kerbal Space Program about it, and it goes a bit sort of, well, it's not really what the game's about, you know. So I got all of those sorts of things, like the planet gravity, so you don't go floating off, or just get stuck in the void or what have you, you know, just to make life a bit easier. That all makes sense. But yeah, I could not quite work out why they'd skipped including that. Chugging away on the weapon doobie, aren't we? And we got a few of them. Let's grab them again. Don't need belts, so we'll just leave that. One of you in. How much stuff have we got here? Let's just top it off. Yeah, and then put them in as well, I think. Cool. Maybe I'd take that out, because it's obviously... do it more like a chain, I think. And we might get all 4 running at some point. It's difficult to, with just the one assembler, it's difficult to actually run that many labs, but because it's just you know, it's just not going to make enough to feed them, but it's fine. 1, 2, or 3 will always be running. I could also hand make a few, can't I? Inserters. Let's run these up. How many of these have we got left now? We've got 89, excellent. So we should be able to do all of our furnaces. I have to do a couple more trips for inserters, but that's fine. Oh, I didn't fill in those final power poles, did I? There we go. Let's get them done. It's funny, so I literally just, this is what I've been doing. Doing basically. I've done my best. So my intention really is to try and finish the game. And obviously finish, you know, you can play Factorio forever sort of thing. So finish in the sense of reach the point where it fires up the "you've won the game" screen. I try to say that in a way that doesn't, because have they added something else at the end? Ooh. But also it could be, no, they haven't done anything else at the end, so leave that vague. But there's always going to be an end screen. It always does that, irrespective of that situation. So it's to try and get to there, and next weekend I basically have absolutely nothing to do. So I'm trying to get as much... I'm sort of hoping I'm in space and maybe on the first planet. I'll probably just do Fulgora because I know that one the best, as it were. Do we need another... probably need 2 more trips, but we shall see. In fact, let's grab some light plates so we can probably stock up again. And some copper as well. But yeah, aim is to get that to that level of doneness, so that mainly, I'll be honest, so that I can chop the footage up and use it on a here's what other changes are. I'm sort of anticipating, like they did, they kind of covered everything. I don't know if you remember when it was the 2.1, sorry, 2.0 Space Age launch, they pretty much covered everything. Should I try and maybe, if we put some fast ones on? Because these will be starving for bits and pieces. So yeah, if we chuck some fast ones on as well, because we've got them here, so you know, might as well. So it would be certainly that one, that one, that one, that one. Would you need iron plate at fast speed? It's not going to be full on, it's not going to completely fix it, but reasonably close, I guess. And you're not starving or anything, no, cool. Okay, and then let's chuck all of that in there. That in there. Top you off. It's obviously all the Games Fest stuff this week as well. But I'm going to last few years, I tried to like watch it all and just completely failed. So I've not even bothered this year. I say I take the sort of view of, you know, I'd rather play the Factorio 2.1, and to be able to do that, I need to do all my chores basically this week. Be all boring and do chores. So that next week, say I've got all the weekend free. Try and blast through it. Well, to the extent that I ever blast through Factorio. I'm a pretty slow player. Any speed is a reflection of having done it thousands of times. But yes, I am enjoying the experience this time. I mean, the honest truth is I really struggled. I came back from Prague and I was like, right, what's my approach here? What's my strategy? What am I going to do content-wise? And I'm like, I could do, you know, a what's in 2.1 video and, you know, based on the patch notes and those sorts of things. I was like, well, everyone's going to do that. And that sounds like a lot of work. Ironically, as I say, it would have been a lot less work. Instead, I'll play through so that I know what I'm talking about. I can do a stream when it actually launches and I can tell people how it works, that sort of thing. And completely biffed it. I burnt out. Didn't get anywhere close to even... I don't even think it was on the first planet, was I? No, I don't think I was. I think it was literally just in space. So I figure this time let's do it through. And it also works. It's like the whole point of this is you're invited to test it. So let's test it. You know, let's do some weird things in the game and see if I can't break it. Although it's bloody hard breaking Factorio. Hello, Solans. Welcome. Hello, Trizzy. What's up? Yeah, I'm not too bad. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Dooby. So, how we do? We're getting there on engine, but we would then need advanced circuits and car, and advanced transport. What they call fast transport belts, advanced transport belts, fast transport belts, and they're blooming expensive then. I mean, that was cheap, and they're pretty... No, engines are 100, aren't they? So we would need to do another 200, 340, 350... Oh, cars are 100. Okay. I always thought that was 50 for some reason. So we're talking about 450 odd science packs, which, given the scale of what we got, is tiny and pathetic. So do I want to start working on like some sort of make everything-y type? I'll probably just do my snaky bus again. We'll sort of wait those sciences out. Tricky part is that we are going to annoy them very, very soon, because we've not got enough trees between us and them are pretty much guaranteed as well, and those are likely. Tired, been a long week, even though I'm unemployed. All right. We've been up to then. But long Sunday too. I just wrapped up a 6-hour session of Star Rapture with my friend. Is that the one that's first person where the must be Star Rapture, the planet, the sun like explodes or whatever every so often and resets the map or something, doesn't it? I've seen a lot of people really like that. I've not actually dived in at all with it. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do a bit of bike clearance, which means running over there. Okay, so we got some turrets. I've not got that many turrets though. Let's build some more turrets. How many gun food have we got? Grab another gun food. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Do I actually have a radar? Yeah, I've got a radar there, but not up here, have I? Okay, let's put another radar over there then. Just so we can keep an eye on things. We've not got grenades, but it's very early game, isn't it? I'm getting a bit confused with the other. Let's make some more shotgun shells as well. I've got 20 packs. Let's build a few of them. Okay. So I'm going to stick this radar on, like, on the corner. It is good, but convoluted. Okay. Mess around in 2.1. Stick it. No. This is 2.0. This is Space Age. As released. I started this last week. I didn't think, to be honest. It's the, like, you know, full stop, because it's kind of obvious I could have got access to the 2.1. You know, even just by pinging them, sort of thing. But I just assumed I wouldn't, sort of thing. I assumed it would be like modders and stuff like that, because they're always very good testers, modders, because they know the code and how things work, and you know, if you've changed it or got it to do something else, then you probably know how it worked in the first place, type of thing. Yeah, but I started this with the anticipation of chatting about the Friday Facts. And, you know, because obviously as they come out, I would normally be doing the speculation and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, I know what's in them, so... or know what's in it. So it's like... I mean, sort of, I'm exaggerating. When I say that, I'm very much exaggerating. Because, as I say, I started a playthrough. And even just... If you've seen the 2.1 fixed thread on the forum... Obviously, those are all in the patch notes for 2.1, as you would expect, because that's where they've been. You know, literally, that's the point. They've been going, we fixed this for 2.1, and that's absolutely loads of stuff. It's like, you know, it's quite a long list of stuff they've patched or put in to fix bugs and that. Or there's quite a few of them are tweaks as well. I hadn't really. I'd been scanning it, but then. I didn't know what was going on with 2.1, but they've done like tweaks and stuff in it as well. It's not just pure bug fixes. You know, like sort of balancey type things. So yeah, you obviously can go and read that and oh, where did you come from? Find out what they've done. We only need, as per usual, to kill the nest. Might go and shotgun the worm anyway, just because. Ooh. Just because. There you go. Found really nice stuff in the latest Friday Facts. Head is spinning. Yeah, it's I say I like this is. I mean, it's a perfect example of exactly of like. You know, I've not reached that far. I say I've done my best to push on. I'm not the quickest player, full stop. So, you know, it was a fresh start and tried to get that far. And I haven't actually even got into space yet in my 2.1 test. So yeah, when it's banging on about the platforms and stuff, a lot of it was about new to me because I had skimmed the patch notes, but what it actually meant sometimes. So it's that classic thing of. If you just sort of say, or there's, you know, fixed this bug or something, and you cross-refer to the forum post, it's like that's a perfectly good patch note. But then someone's got to go and read the forum to see, you know, the bug report to see what it was actually, what did they actually change, what did they do, but also just saying fixed it, it didn't tell you necessarily how they fixed it. What did they actually do? So yeah, there's a bit of an element of that with this Friday Facts where I'm like, oh, I see. So that's what they were talking about, like the packing algorithm. I didn't really understand that until they actually properly explained it. So yeah, it was a learning thing for me, but it kills off the speculation entirely because you just can't. Well, I guess I'd have to be quite a good actor to sort of be going, I wonder what's going on here, or maybe that's a thing. So just not that good of an actor. Plus, if I said something, yeah, like, you know, speculatey as it were, and it was actually in, then technically I'm breaking the NDA. Oh, is that not in range? Okay. Fine. Oops. It is one tricky algorithm. So, oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's knapsack algorithm or knapsack problem is a classic one, isn't it? Of you've got 100 items, you can only hold 80 of them. They're this size or this weight or this value. You know, solve for weight, solve for value. You know, it's not easy. But I quite like what they've done. It's sort of a reasonable compromise that I'm sure runs pretty damn quick because it is pretty simple solution. I don't necessarily agree with the. You know, you've requested the most. I mean, it's I sort of get it from a point of view of the thing you're going to be requesting the most of is most likely platform pieces. So if it's filling in with platform pieces, then it's probably that you probably are going to need more of them. Or the first couple of rockets it sends up, where it's filling in, as it were. I mean, obviously they've prioritised the platform pieces anyway, but if it's going to send a few more things, then platform pieces would have been a good thing to send because. So your first couple of rockets, you're always going to be. It's not going to provide enough platform pieces full stop, so you might as well just send more, as it were. But it kind of. I didn't twig when I was reading it through, but that whole thing of the deadlocking becomes how they've done the algorithm. It actually makes it more likely because if it's your most requested thing is last on the list. Your most requested thing is going to be platform pieces. So it's going to send up like inserters, belts, grabber arms, all that sort of stuff, fill the inventory of the platform hub, and then not be able to send the platform pieces to build out, for the cargo docks. So the algorithm they did probably would have been more problematic for deadlocking. And so the whole putting that priority first actually fixed that problem. But they didn't really talk about that as being a problem, so I don't know if they just didn't, they fixed it, did the priority before they realised, as it were. But yeah, so I think it's a relatively neat solution, and ending up with 5 extra inserters that you don't need, it's not a bad thing, I guess. Oh, you're quite big, aren't you? I wonder if I leave you alone and we do them. How are we doing on the research again? Let's see about that now. But yeah, the thing I'm most excited for on it is the whole... we've actually used quite a lot of ammo there, haven't we? I guess we are very weak. I was on a one night trip, Wednesday, Thursday. It was tricky enough packing my bag. It makes it kind of tricky if building the platform above a non-Navis planet as you want the defense to come up quick. Yeah, well, this is one of the things. It's like you probably you could have done it like, how would you put it, like the special platform pieces, as it were, like grabber arms and crushers. Launch them first. Could have been another way of kind of doing it because obviously they are how you're going to get the materials to like fuel your platform. So really you want them a bit ahead of, you want it to be grabbing bits of iron asteroid before it's grabbing before you actually want to launch your platform. So oh, we've got 3 worms there, haven't we? I didn't realise. Okay. Too busy yammering. Let's see if we can't take one of them out at least. Whoop. Oh, I didn't put ammo in it. Oops. Oops. Why is that not healing? Ah, because the worm is gone. Okay. Can be a little tricky to take this one out, isn't it? How about we approach from a different angle? We can take that nesticle out, maybe. don't you come and try and gnaw on me. Try and get rid of that first. Oh, it went for the worm, did it? Okay. Let's get a bit of shotgun on that. Nearly got me. So, we've got a worm and a... Huh, it seemed to make the spitting animation then without actually spitting. Bit weird. Ah, worm's gone. That'll make life easier. That... just lend a hand. So how much are we pushing? Oh, evolution's only 1.07. Okay. Not too bad. But yeah, so, I mean, say this whole new thing of like... I mean, people were giving even better suggestions than I thought. You know, I thought... My suggestions were quite tame, but they were talking about special... Which it sounds awesome. Which is say... It's why I'm a bit... I mean, I guess, to some extent, their priority for Space Age was getting it launched and, you know, getting this basic stuff in rather than focusing too much on what would be awesome and cool. So, because people were suggesting things like actual like space platform building platforms, so platforms that can build and maybe you have to pull up. I don't know what some of the restrictions are on like where you can build crushers and stuff. But effectively, they're the like assembly things for platforms, and so they build, you know, the platform pieces and what have you, and it could just be a really big platform around Nauvis or what have you, that is your space. What would you call it? Not dock, but your space. Shipyard, basically. So like it's and it works like that, you know. It's sort of, it's just the shipyard for all of your ships, and it builds all of them. And you know, if you need a running low on coal. Okay. Oh, why did I pick up all that steel? Didn't need any of that. Yeah, if you need to build a platform, then it's got all the stuff in stock, and it can just fire it up and what have you. But that's going to be awesome. Obviously, that's sort of bigger scale stuff. You're really not going to build that right from the get-go, as it were, but it's going to be super awesome. And I say that's kind of why you know, the whole. Well, why didn't you put it in? Because it's going to be super awesome. You know, I'd love to have something like that. But I say focus, I'm sure, was more on let's get the thing working and start selling it, sort of thing, rather than add in super cool things. Do that later. I suspect they've done a bit of a... They had a thing before where, with bug reports, where they basically said, you know, there's only 400 bugs left or whatever it was. And that got sort of picked up in the press and interpreted as being it's really buggy type of thing, or given that sort of, maybe not said directly, but that type of spin, as it were, and not maliciously, not in a, you know, it's therefore bad type of thing, but in a surprising, wow, there's all these bugs left. But the bugs we're talking about are such niche edge cases, you know, that they weren't really bugs. It was more, you know, that a normal player would encounter. It was more sort of, if you happen to do this utterly bizarre set of things and you're using this mod, then this weird thing will happen. And it doesn't break your game or anything, it just means slightly odd behaviour. So they kind of, I think, got a little bit wary on that, of sort of saying some of the information, because it gives the, or it can be, it misinterpreted in a sense. Whoops. And I suspect they've probably done, I don't know, but I suspect they've probably done something a bit like that with the whole, we're not, you know, the game is done type of thing. Because I think because they replied to a few things on the forum that it doesn't mean they're not going to put nothing else in. It's just that the things they'll put in might be, you know, a tiny little, like effectively like a palette swap, and the new thing they palette swap has different behaviour or something, you know, or you know, something on that scale of change, as it were. That it's not really a change. It's not a change in the gameplay, but it is something new, and I suspect they'll put things like that in, and there won't be, what there won't be will be, you know, like, there's not, well, there'll be a 2.2, I'm sure, eventually, when, you know, 500 new tiny mini features and bug fixes have happened. They'll just update it to 2.2 just because. But like, say Rayguard adds some new visualization thing for the fluid mechanics, you know. You know, and it, you know, post 2.1, that's the type of thing they'll add, you know. Let's put that onto then. I thought I already had. Put that on there. So yeah, I think they might have given the wrong impression that the game is, you know, finished, sort of thing, when they are going to keep tweaking and fiddling about, and minor feature that, you know, most devs wouldn't even consider putting in. Cool. Okay, so are we going to work on this? In fact, we should grab those belts, shouldn't we, then, if we're going to do some kind of buildy thing. In fact, I should really set up. I don't have you know, for my snaky bus idea, the whole pipes and gears and circuits, so we need to add them in. With the platform-to-platform transports, instead of having 10 end silos on the planet that only launches when a travelling platform, you have 2 end silos that work all the time and stuffs the stuff to a buffer platform. Helps my brain. Yes, so I know what you mean. So basically, and I say this was, again, that you're exactly describing what I'd envisaged was going to be how the game would work, in that your rockets would launch stuff to a orbital, effectively like an orbital chest, you know, like a gigantic storage. You would cram that full of cargo pods and you know, cargo silos, or whatever they're called. You have to forgive me, I'm shattered, I'm absolutely knackered. That's why I was having a cup of tea. But you know, that it would basically be like a two-way thing, almost like, and I said it in my wishlist video, like a space elevator. That would effectively be your, I don't necessarily have to put that actually in, but up downy, up downy, up downy, up downy between the two, and then all your other ships, your platforms that were actual ships, would I mean, I thought they would dock because I'd seen that in space exploration. I thought they would actually dock and they would unload via belt and stuff like that, because traditionally, so one of the things, they've always tried to make belts a good and viable thing throughout the entire game, and that trains and bots are kind of alternatives, rather, you know, they're like the default is belts, you know, it's sort of, that's what the game is in a sense, the core of it. And so that's how you would be unloading your platforms. You would be, you know, what you would actually be doing is making a hub in space that would load and unload your platforms. But I mean, that is a lot more complicated, you know, so I can kind of see why they didn't do that. But also, this, I think, is probably the best halfway house, because it's like you can kind of achieve that sort of a setup without actually having to properly build that. How are we doing? We've got a few assembly machines. We've got what? How many assembly? 16. That's okay. Okay. You've not got fuel. Why have you not got fuel? Oh, because there's just no coal coming in. It should fix itself with that extra supply. Cargo base. Okay. Especially items that you always move a lot of in bulk, makes sense to buffer on the platform. Yeah, and that would be, and that's kind of then, because it's sort of, I've got engines, okay. So we're quite a long way in terms of tech. I've just not really built around it yet. But because that would then keep, like, you know, the sort of Gleber special stuff, as it were, in that would be the one thing where buffering it would be really hard. So we need to filter out just the stone, and that needs to be on the right. Does that make sense? Yeah. You know, that'd be the one thing where it's like, oh, you've got to, in fact, other way around. No, so it does want to be left, doesn't it? And so your challenge there is, but I can't buffer this, so how do I solve that problem? Do I just outproduce it? You know, do I produce so much that, you know, it how do I want to do this? If I go maybe down here. Okay. Yeah, it's not a problem because I'm just producing so much green, you know, agricultural science, and I don't care. You know, it's fine. I can cope with that. Or do I have a different way of doing it? You know, do I do a fast clipper solution where I keep using that phrase because it's like a clipper is like a, so in the UK there's a famous one called the Cutty Sark, which is in Greenwich basically, in a dry dock. And the clippers, they brought tea in from India, which was like the most valuable, you know, a very valuable cargo that can spoil if you leave it too long, but also you want the money. It's so valuable that you want the money as quick as you can, sort of thing. So that's why I just keep referring to that. So it's a ship specifically designed. They were sail ships, you know. K-Cycle, it got sort of superseded by steamships, basically. But yeah, you would have that sort of, you'd have to have a special design of ship in order to bring the glow. I mean, it still applies. You know, it's still the same basic issue, as it were. But if I split that, then that's annoying. Positioning wrong on that. Let's just bend it backwards. Oops. And then, because we want this to be, or I normally put this on the other side of green circuits, basically. So if we imagine that, say we produce the green circuits. In fact, we could do them other way, couldn't we? So we have the green circuits there. Whoops. On that side, maybe something like that. It's a bit janky, but in fact, I think that's probably a bit too janky even for me. Let's do. Let's put them here instead. So doot and then doot. Oops, doot. But yeah, so it would encourage different ship designs, whereas what they've actually, because it was the whole bulk hauler thing, which is how I kind of did it in that first playthrough that I streamed. That was entirely, that's how they'd solved the problem basically. So their solution, in their games were the bulk haulers, just big ships that, big bricks in space that, just moved stuff everywhere basically. They just stocked up on everything and moved it around basically. That was kind of their solution. So essentially I was just recreating what they what they'd come up with in their playthrough. But it's not a very elegant solution, let's be frank. In fact, let's put that there and there if we're going to do that. Okay, just throw some lights on as well. Whoops. Cool. How are we doing with power? Yeah. Maybe I'll chuck on a bit more power. Yes, so I say that's how I'd kind of entirely envisaged it working early game. And then it was like, and so it was a bit of a surprise is the wrong word, but a bit of a, oh, right, okay, that it was a lot simpler, and it was just basically, so effectively platform. Although I say a lot of that was because they called them. I said this in the Friday Facts. They called them platforms. So to me, a platform is a surface on which you do stuff, and they were like envisaging them basically just used as spaceships, and I was like, well, oh, okay, well, that's fine. It's not a problem. It's just not how I'd thought about it working really. I suppose the other thing is like the like the space aerodynamics thing about it, because it'd be called. I'm actually reading. Oh, you're getting hit now, are you? Okay. Is pollution actually getting to you? Are you gonna send any bad lads? It's not really, is it? Okay. Let's see if we can build some more ammo. Because it's not very strong, the ammo at the moment. Only done the one buff, and I would rather get a car. I could build another turret, couldn't I? There we go. Right, let's stock up our supplies. Get some Cooper. And then, while we're here, might as well grab some green circuits. Done that slightly differently, haven't I? Oh, that's a point. That power pole, because it's only a small one, isn't actually doing anything. It's only because I put it close enough that it worked. Oh well. But you want to filter. Green circuits. Lovely jubbly. Oops, just have a stack of them. And then I don't normally bother buffering that because I will build separate thing for pipes. So we got all of our bits for making the snaky bus. I'm probably just going to keep it going straight down because we don't have that many trees down here. I'll have to think what I'm going to do with science because it's always a little tricky I've been building it into the actual, my approach has been to make it part of the snaky bus, but then it's really difficult to untangle it, basically. How are we doing? So we've got 59 there, excellent. We're completely out of iron plate. Get that copper in. How are you doing? Yeah, you can take a little more, can't you? Cheeky little extra. So, if we go and grab a bit more copper. Let's just have a quick check on how they're doing. Yeah, it's not quite going into them, so hopefully there's no attack groups going to run up and spoil our day. I mean, they're so wimpy at this stage, so we'd be able to fight them off. It's just a pain in the backside. Okay, so let's head down. We will make a couple of turrets as we go, so that we're fully kind of stocked up. We need to kind of recce it so that we come in a good angle, because there's a good chunk of biters here, and we are going to run through the ammo. So we've got two worms at the top, no worms at the bottom. Okay, let's go from the bottom, as it were. So we can keep out of range of the wormy boys for as long as we can. That should be the initial bite is cleared. So we'll just sneak that in. Oh, there is a worm there as well. Okay. Alright, calm down, chaps. We'll get yours. Right. I'll learn you. Alright, so they were saying something that... Also, where did I see it? Can I say that? I might have seen that in somewhere else. I can't really talk about it. But there was implication that a lot of, like the majority of players, actually play with biters off. Which kind of surprised me, but I don't know what it was based on. Since you're on your own, and I don't want to leave you alone, let's kill you as well. That's a mercy killing, that one. Okay, so it wasn't all that tough. It's just if you don't know what you're doing, that sort of thing can be tricky. Now, any other possible problems? No, cool. But yeah, I can't wait to, I say, play like a proper game, as it were, and spend my time on the something like a platform that builds, that is a shipyard, space shipyards, as it were. Could even design it. This is one of the things I'm really keen to do when 2.1 is properly out, and I can do my own sort of slowish playthrough and what have you, is revive the series where I was doing aesthetics, basically trying to make pretty bases, because I think space platforms, especially because you could build it, I mean obviously the ships don't necessarily, they're not going to actually dock. That's what they were saying in the Friday Facts. They're not going to dock with each other. They're going to send cargo pods between them. That's what they were showing, as it were, particularly on image for the actual Friday Facts itself. That's the point of that image. Millions of cargo pods flying about. So when you're building these things with your shipyard's platform, it's not going to dock. They're not going to build out a separate platform because it's a separate surface. It would be quite a difficult thing to implement that. It's not going to build in the same space, as it were. But you could build it as if they were. So you could build like a, sort of a U-shaped bit with things going off and like arms on it, and it would just look like that was where the platform was docking. Or maybe you could have you could extend the cargo bay so that they fit into that gap. And I'm sort of envisaging it a bit like. So I love the Anno games, like 1800 and stuff like that. And you can build actual like proper aesthetic harbours that are actually functional. The ships, pull up and dock, and they don't do unloading and loading. It's sort of just the stuff magically transports between them, But that's kind of the thing I'm sort of most excited for is being able to do something like that, where it's just looks pretty, even though it doesn't really work as it's presented, as it were. But so if we go, maybe, in fact, might be better just to use that one. I'll kill that one off. Yeah, I want to combine those two together. So, in fact, it might be easier if I split. No, let's take it off there. We'll run these down a bit further, so there's just a bit of space to, if I do need a third one. Oh, yeah, I need to bring that over anyway. So, a bit of room for extra things there. And then we want to kind of combine those two. Hop that over. Like that. And then bring this one in as well. I wonder if you could launch platform starter packs from platforms. I can't really answer that one. I don't take that as confirmation. It's not something they've talked about. So I know it is something that's been requested. So I say I can't really give a affirmation or or what have you. It would be really cool though, wouldn't it? I think wouldn't it be the problem though, you'd have to build a rocket on a platform and you literally can't. It's like blocked in the code. I don't think you can build a rocket on a... Or I guess you could have some special building, couldn't you, that as it were did it like for you, as it were. Let's find... where are you? There you are. So, we kind of want to locate this. What would be a nice place? Somewhere there, I think. Would that work? Yeah. Did it want to be there? Maybe one further down. So I'm just positioning that so that I know where. It allows me to go. This is where the things are. So like our edge. I want to maximise the sort of, yeah, so that's the edge there. Maximise our building area covered by one roboport. There. No. Oh yeah, no, one off. Okay. But yeah, cool. And it sounds like a thing a mod would absolutely do. That sounds like perfect mod territory. That. And on there. I think I maybe want to move it down a bit. I think I'm going to do this. So if I just bring them all together, and then we can work out the snaky side of it later. Oops. That doesn't want to be there anyway, does it? In fact, let's move all of that down one. Yeah, I say that would be kind of cool. I kind of hope. So that's the other thing with this is like the amount of stuff they've clearly added to the modding over the over the time that it's been in. I mean, they're still sticking things in on the modding API. So that's the other thing I say I'm hoping they do is that rather the sort of long-term support plan is also helping modders do mods basically. So we're not going to add an extra feature, but off you go with make a mod for it. That's so when a modder requests, well, could you give me access to this in the API or what have you? That's the type of stuff they mainly do as long-term support. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do because I was obviously very keen on that modding. Do I want to make that 2 over? I think I probably do. In fact, 3 over there. So then this needs to move 3 over. Basic point with this is that it allows me to, when robopods are there, I can stick it in, and everything I've got being built as and that's currently being stuck into a wooden chest. I'll be able to do. Actually, I didn't blueprint that, did I? Probably want to tweak it a little bit at the first, though. Put that there. They had so many things I have no idea why a modder would need. But I guess it is a lot of requests from modders. Yeah. I think it's because, part of that is the whole... Because maybe... you may know, but I don't know that there have been any overhaul type mods yet for Space Age. I suspect that's kind of what they're, in a sense, hoping for. Actually be there then, wouldn't it? That you get the equivalent of Crash Storio 2 that, or SpaceX, I guess, is a prime example of. Now that Errandle's got access to all sorts of stuff in the base game, like their improved terrain generation and all that sort of stuff, that lets that group, as it were, do some super special mod type stuff. So let's see about spacing on this side. Where would it go to about there? So that's going to be perfect, isn't it? So we would be looking at, if I go, we want that one there, don't we? And then jump that over, or under, or under, that there, like so. And then the next row goes there. No. Egypt. Okay. And then on this end, where would you be going? You would be going Universe Age. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, my dreams of leaving the Nauvis solar system, on a big spaceship. Well, that's what SpaceX kind of is, but these ideas that I had in that video of like building a space station, basically, orbital ring, or something, excuse me, weird, wacky and wonderful. A wormhole home and all this sort of stuff. Perfect things for mods to do. And could well be done as an overhaul. You know, add in all the extra technologies that you need to do it and what have you. But then the modders might come along and go, well, great, but in order to do that I need these features and what have you. I think an example of the type of thing they give access to is the whole, when it said about the global constant, the global whatever it was, variable. And that's fine for space age because that's how it works, you know. It just uses the global. But a modder wants to be able to change it and have differently sized spaceships or whatever. Space rockets, rather. And that you can build all three differently sized, you know, ones at the same time. That, you know, you're not limited to that every rocket is exactly the same. I say it's that type of stuff I think they make changes in the code and then give access to it, you know, so that people can do things with it. I did cap that, didn't I? Yeah. Let's grab them then. Boop. So look at the science. We're nearly done the Logi 2. I've managed to gap fill. Waffle on. Waiting for that to happen. And then we get the car. So hopefully we'll be fairly well matched in terms of buildings. In fact, we'll probably do a bit more copper, can't we? In terms of building the things. Oops. Now we can get rid of the coal. Get rid of the stone. Cool. Yes, I say it's not that they're adding a new feature; it's that they're making it so that the code is more flexible. You know, and then giving access to it via the Lua API thing. And of course, and I say that's the other. A lot of the devs do mods. I mean, Gennis said that. You know, he'd come up. Or I don't actually know Gennis, but they'd come up with that, or found it frustrating or what have you, not being properly packed rockets, as it were, and so they messed about with doing it via a mod. And I know Rhaegar started, or did quite well. Rhaegar does a lot of stuff in mods, and then I think Rhaegar kind of uses it as like a proof of concept, like as in, you know, this is what I'm talking about. You know, this is what we should put in the game, and shows it to everybody else, type of thing. Okay, so I didn't actually blueprint that, did I? No, because what I really want to do is like cook them up. Am I going to parameterize it again? One of my disappointments with is kind of the parameterization thing. It just feels like a lovely idea that they never really. It doesn't quite work, is the problem, in the sense that the whole idea of inheriting recipes down. So when you have a parameterized thing that it makes inserters, and then it will automatically. You can say that another assembler is a child of the electronic circuits and a child of that, and so it makes the electronic circuits, and then another one is a child of it and makes the iron gear wheels, and so but you can do it generically, so that, you know, another recipe with 3 items, or I guess the iron plate is a furnace, so it's slightly different, but you know, you should be able to then plop down a one with long-handed inserters, and it does that. But the trouble is, it then tries to fill in, because the inserter is an intermediate itself. It will do the green assembly machine and gears as again, sort of thing, and it just sort of it sort of falls at. They've kind of, if every single item was exactly the same, like it had 3 ingredients, then the parameterization would work a hell of a lot better. But then that would make the game a bit boring, probably. Probably better off doing it as, if I do say, let's just randomly pick gear wheels, and then I don't need to do that because I need to do that and that, and make that pipe. Where is pipe? There's pipe. And then we blueprint that, and then we parameterize, and we just call it number 1, and that would be parameter 0, or actually let's call it 0 because programmers, and that would be 1, 0, 1. Cool. Now I also need, I did that too early, didn't I? Because I need to set these, so I need to set that to be less than some number, so that needs to be gears, and that needs to be, we'll just use 50, just so that we've got the variable to grab. And then that's an enable disable based on pipes, and we'll make that 75, just so we've got the number to grab, and then we redo that, boop de boop, and then we reparameterize. So you are a parameter on 0. And we say it's a parameter that is based on 0 It looks like they might have actually fixed that. I was rabbiting on about them not fixing it, but it was the SR and T that were broken before, so they might have fixed it. Interesting. So yes, this should be P0 underscore what? Item ingredient of what? Item ingredient 1 of parameter n. P0 item count rather. Number a parameter n. Isn't it stack size? It's S, isn't it? P0. I'm looking at the wrong thing. S. So it's S, and then we just call it 2 times that. We copy that. It is still doing the red thing though, so that's not fixed. Hopefully that's fixed in 2.1, because it's telling me that formula's wrong, but the formula's not wrong. I mean, that formula's wrong, but it won't be in a second. I call that 1. Variable 2 times P1 unknown variable P0 underscore S, except it isn't. Okay, so let's save that. We'll get rid of those so that we can check it. Whoops. Like that. Just right click it, can't I? Being Dumbo. And I haven't set a limit on them. Cool. So if we then test that out, so we want 0 to be gears, 1 to be pipes. What have you done? And plate 200, yeah, 200. Cool. Bad test because stack size of those is the same. Maybe if we do steel chest or something instead. So 0 as gears again. Oops. Oh. 0 as gears. And then I say we'll get steel chest or something because it's different. Stack size 100. Yeah, cool. Okay, so what we actually want to build first is. Oh, got the wrong thing. We want pipes and underground pipes, and then we want to do that, and we want to give you access to iron plate. In fact, let's just do it with that. Then same again there. Cool. 5:15. Just a quick check. Pollution's not really going anywhere, which is good. We've kind of reached a bit of an equilibrium, I think. I suspect this doesn't appear to be moving, so I'm wondering if we run out of copper or something like that. Piggly Bob. No, not run out of anything, but are we close? Not really. How do we do on gun food? Let's grab that so we can top that off. Boop, boop. Cool, cool, cool. So what else was in the Friday Facts? It was... boop. Yeah, cool. Parameterization. Oh, sorry. It was the rocket logistics stuff, wasn't it? Oh, the new animation. The new animation's great. I want to do this series that I'm going to do. That's like almost like the follow-up, kind of, to the law speculation. Is sort of about the excuse me, about the what would you call it, the design of the machines and stuff, because I find them absolutely fascinating. They're sort of, what have you got? You've got gears, and so maybe if we do them, but they're all sort of, they're sort of very based on archetypes. Whoops. Meaning it's kind of like Orky logic, basically, from 40k, where it's like, it should work. It's got this on it, so that means it should work. It's sort of like, even if it doesn't actually make sense that it would work, it does work. And I say that, there's obviously a thing in 40k specifically where it's because the orcs are powerful psykers, basically. So it's like they believe it to work, so it works because they're manifesting it working. Did I want to do that? I didn't really want to do it like that. So we go wooden power poles, boop, and then get rid of. Well, I didn't necessarily need to get rid of it. Could just cut and paste that to there. Oops. Oops. So that wants to be... actually, no, it's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, it would be better. Let's do that again. If I go, boop, and then do 0 as cables and 1 as the power poles. What I'd quite like to do as well is, having messed about with this a load of times, is do like one that's got them all the recipes already done, so I'm not deciding each time. And then if we put that there, this could be the boxes. No, it couldn't, because we need to put wood in. So if I do, how would that work? do boxes there. And then what can I do on the other side? Maybe we just do the steel because it's, yeah, right there. So then we want a box here. And we'll put our wood in there. Can that reach? Yeah. Put that there. The kind of idea of, it's like, and it's things like the idea of wiring up a chest, a wooden chest. It's just, I mean, how does that work? It's sort of understand it with steel or iron or what have you. In that maybe it can detect the magnetic signature or something of the stuff. But how does attaching a green wire to a wooden box tell you what's in the wooden box? It's like it's yeah. It is nonsense, basically. But we'll probably pop down that to 50. That's cool. And then you need access to steel, don't we? Okay. Got some basics on the go. What we really want is like belts and stuff. Okay, let's see if we can just sneak in. Because I have done repair packs, okay. In fact, do I need 200 repair packs? Just chop that down to 100. And then I guess I've already probably got 40 of them, haven't I? Yeah, do that. Cool. What could we stick on the end there? Maybe. Whoops, but something like. It didn't quite fit, it's not quite a full thing. So maybe if we just put in. Whoops. 0 as. Say something like. Electric mining drills. Just do a 1-up. And then that needs a gears, a grain circuits, and iron plate. The wooden box comes with a register that updates every time anything is added, removed from the box. Yeah, just like all wood. All wood's got a built-in register. And that's what wood is, isn't it? It's like you could argue, you know, if it was like a limiting thing, if it was based on this, and it's reading that and it's saying, oh, well, you know, it's hit that limit. But no, it doesn't work like that. But so a lot of it I tend to say, well, I mean, there's it's one of the reasons I love the biomass explanation for the engineer when I can't remember their name. They suggested that because it sort of works then in that the engineer could be, you know, secreting, but like putting some cells on, like some independent part of itself that it attaches to anything. So the circuit is just attaching to those cells, and those cells are doing the reading. So that's why I really like that idea. Didn't really seem to, you know, pop off with anybody there. They didn't really agree with me, but so that's why I liked it. How about if we do the undies there, and then we do the actual belts there, then we could do spliters there, and then we could do. Oh, that makes sense. So we then do regular ones again there. And then that gives us 2, and 0 here could be labs maybe. Or actually, if we do it the other way around, if we do fast belts there, regular ones there, and then 0 here could be the labs. And then we need to decide what else we're putting in. So I did mining drills. I've done... I mean, I could do... like, would stone furnace? If we did stone furnaces... No, that'd be the wrong way around. Could do... steam engines. And then this here is stone furnaces. So it's this. I sort of want to work out a way of, you know, I don't know about optimal, but a nice arrangement of all of the things I build in this, and then I can just stamp it all down in one go. But it retains the flexibility. You know, I can just fiddle about with stuff as I want to. So that would then be boilers, wouldn't it? Yeah. Automobilism is done. So we need engines. Excellent. We can have a little bit of an explore. I've got quite a lot to build, haven't I? I haven't got assemblers automated. Okay. Let's do... In fact, how are we doing on power? Oh, tons of power. I think that the base is in a bit of a state of torpor. Car time. Do kind of like this approach to a more. Yeah, it's not like original to me. Do I have a driver's license? Do you mean me? You mean in real life? I very much so. I've been driving for crikey 30 years. I suppose technically 32. In the UK you can get like a provisional license, a learner's license at 16. And I pretty much had a car. So I was kind of the substitute ferry for my sister. So I used to provide transport services for my sister, you know, in the sort of period where I'd learnt, and because she's younger than me, I'd learnt and took. It's all a bit complicated, but I had a car. It wasn't bought for me, sort of thing. It's one we inherited, but I know for that few years before she learnt, I ferried her around. And what we need to do is put that there and that there. This needs to be way higher. That needs to be like 500. But yeah, so I say because a lot of people. The reason I mention that is a lot of people pass, and then, you know, don't get a car basically for quite a while because they're expensive and you're young and stupid, so you're bound to crash it. There. Do the same thing again. What is real life? Is this just fantasy? What else do we need? Green circuit is fine. Cool. And then you're just like even more gears, aren't you? Where are they? They're there. In fact, no, let's just slow you down. Plate. Where's my gears? There's my gears. And then sneak that into the back. And you definitely need circuits, don't you? And what? Gears. Gears, pipes, and... Okay. Gears, pipes, and iron plate. And you are stone, definitely. Like so. And then pipes as a bonus. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Right. So what have we made and what we... So inserters has got to be next, isn't it? That's got to be the next priority. And then we should make assemblers. In fact, let's do assemblers first, actually, because that's pretty danged easy. We just go... so 0 as the regular, 1 as the level 2. Like that, and then we'll do that, and that, and then we might as well cut that down, It's like, that's a perfect example of the parameterization. It would be lovely, so the bit where it's telling me, saying do 2 at stack sizes, you know, so the maths is 2 times the stack size for that items, and I put that in as a standard bit of maths. It would be lovely to be able to set that. So for these, where I've just manually changed it over to 1 stack, why can't I have a variable that I can move up and down for that particular item? So I say I want a stack of them and I want a stack of them, but I want, in fact, do I need to change that? I do. I want, you know, 2 stacks of them and 10 stacks of them and 5 stacks of them, but you can't really do that. And so I'm sort of guessing it's a bit of a pain to add it in, and people didn't. It's like a half-finished idea, you know. It's a real shame, in my opinion, because it is a lovely little feature. And we're doing so. They're making assembly machines. Excelente. Do I want to stick engines in then, since I've got car done? If we did, what would we stick on the other side? Put something like lights on, but then I would need copper cables. And what would they go into? I don't think I've got anything unlocked that. Lights. I don't really want to leave gap for combinators. There's obviously the power pole thing, but I don't really want to. So I mean, it's really, I should have put the lights on the other side of the one doing the power poles, but I didn't. So maybe we just leave that and we'll have one random machine. Okay, so we want number 1 to be the lights. No, 0 to be the lights, and then 1 to be in. In fact, no, I'll just leave it blank, because we can put pumps on when we've got fluids. We put pumps there instead. Okay. So that is one that will be TBD. Let's do that so that we remember. And we don't mind stacking 2 of them up, or 2 stacking them. But we will give that, and then where's my steel? There's my steel. Cool. In fact, let's make you blue already. You've not made anything. Why not? Because I forgot to give you green circuits. Okay. Now can we make inserters? And then we're kind of up to date, as it were. And I can go for an explore. Oh, I should do ammo and stuff, really, shouldn't I? And radars. And turrets. Okay. Plenty left to do there. So, do I want to do them first? Put radar. What else would we put on the other side of it? I could do the turrets on the other side of it. If I thought about that, you see, I could have put that on this side, and then it could feed into flamer turrets. But I didn't think about it, so there you go. So if we do that side as them, and that side as them, and then 2 stacks of turrets is more than fine, so we'll leave that one. So there we go. And then what do you need? You need circuits, definitely. You need iron plate. Almost certainly need gears. It's like incredibly high technology. And another example, the radar. It's extremely high technology, a radar, really. Particularly in terms of its processing and stuff. And you make it with an iron plate or 10 iron plates, a gear, 5 gear wheels, and 5 electronic circuits. It's like, how does that work? But it works because the engineer thinks it works. Okay, let's get some stock. They've not made any because I didn't actually hook that up properly, did I? Well, we don't need 400 cables. Got the wood. Does it make loads of boxes? No, it didn't make any because I never put much wood in there. Okay. Let's go get some wood then. Hello, Xcole. Welcome, welcome. Just wanted to pop in and say how great it is that you're in the close beta. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. I don't know when he posted that. It's not giving me times for some reason, but yeah. Thank you very much. This isn't the 2.1. This isn't the beta or anything. I've not broken the NDA or anything like that. It's just the regular Space Age game we started before. I'm actually curious. Part of the things that occurred to me when entering the beta was that I could maybe test if I can get this a bit more advanced up to, say, space, maybe. We can maybe do that, maybe. That'd be tight because that's only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or 12 hours. I could always play it off stream, couldn't I? But what does if you're halfway through a game, you've just, well, it's not halfway, is it really? You've got into space and you've got all, like showed you in the Friday Facts, you've got all these changes to space. If you suddenly switch it to 2.1, what breaks? Or does it go all wonky? I mean, it shouldn't do because they actually did that last time when they did the original switch over. They did that special little updater that basically kind of fixed it for you. Ooh, can I get a car? I can get a car. So we're ready to go for a road trip. So we put that on there. Cool. And then what else was I going to add on there? But yeah, so after occurring to me, I then sort of realised, well, that's going to be a bit tricky because that's a lot of game to get through. What about if we do the 2 ammos? So we'll go 0 there, and then we'll leave that free for the piercing shotgun rounds. Oh, I was going to get some trees, wasn't I? That's what I was waiting on. Let's set you going though. I'll leave the other one. Dump that in there. Just a moment ago, only half should break it. Yeah. It should actually make things like better and stuff, in the sense that for some things, because the whole rocket packing and stuff like that is like suddenly, unless you're doing manual insertion. I can't believe some people would do that, but if you're doing manual insertion, then suddenly you don't need to bother because it's just going to auto fill it in a reasonable sort of way for you. You just have to do a little bit, a little bit of tidying up type of thing. And there. Right, so that's set for that one. So if we go boop and we do same again, we do say that is our regular ammo, and that will be piercing ammo when we have it. Cool. Oh, I didn't pick up any boxes. We need some more assemblers, which we've got none of because it's turning them all into. Let's just hand make a few in the interim then. What are you waiting on again? Gears. Why have you not got gears? because everything's using gears. And these are only grey machines, which I am foolishly... Should be the other way round, shouldn't it? That was silly. Oh well. Because these it can't provide the long-handed can't provide enough, and of course the way I've done the power, it's just not able to do it. It'll get better, but it should have been the other way around. The pipe should have been the long-handed one inserting. Oh well. Okay, so that needs building there, and then we need some of that. And that needs an inserter there, so that will be as a AP ammo when we get it. Cool. Now can we do inserters? Let's have a think. We've not done walls. Do we want to build... If we build walls, it's close to the military stuff. So I don't think that's a bad idea. If we flip it round, we can do... So... walls, and then that will become gates when we've done... Have we done gates? Surely we've done gates. No? Okay, cool. So that will become gates. And that needs to go down there. I was saying, I mean this... So the snaky bus thing, it's like inspired by Mojo's build everything. It's like I'm too dumb to I never got the blueprints and I'm too dumb to recreate it properly, basically. So I've done my sort of half-assed, you know, because his is all like circuit controlled for, it like makes the right number of gears and all this sort of stuff. It's very clever, and mine's very much, if I hit it with a hammer then maybe it'll work type logic. So let's put 400 in there. Cool. So we can then put gates there, and then we have all of the military stuffs. Yes, intermediates is relevant. We've got... I never built the boilers, so there's that. Not boilers, steam engines. Did I? What did I? No, I made the... Yes, I did. There you go. Got steam engines. Excellent. Got furnaces. We've got mining drills. Got labs. Hopefully, has it made a few labs? It has. Cool. We've got all of those then. So it is just inserters that we're missing. Excellent. So let's build them then. If we do... say that. It's going to be a bit annoying that they're either side of the thing, isn't it? So maybe if we reserve that for something, I don't know what, but if we do say that there, and then that. In fact, if I'm clever with that, I could maybe botch together some stack inserters. So in fact, if we do that as that, for when they come around, you know, I can just throw a few red circuits in a chest and make a handful for trains or what have you. So if we go that way round, because stack inserters are in that territory of... Did I make lights? I think I skipped them, didn't I? Maybe we put lights here. Have a look. No. Okay, let's put lights here then. Because that requires the cable, doesn't it? Oh, will it also be... There'd be something else left. Am I fussed? Probably not. So if we do lights and cable, oops. Oh, I've not got any. Oh, because I'm making them. How are we doing on time? 5:45. Okay. Logic was quite advanced for Mojo D's crafted hole. Yeah. I say far too clever for me. Sadly, JD plays and Mojo D are doing the Friday Facts this time around. It seems so. I'm glad you heard. They're not doing them. Are you saying? Or are doing them? You're doing them. Aren't. I'll say. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure there'll be too many doing them. I don't think because. I know part of it is the timing, I think, because it is summer. Or just edging into summer, so I'm not entirely sure. Traditionally, things quiet down for content creators, although I think both. I also think, aren't both of them basically. I know JD Plays is still very much doing creatory stuff, aren't they? But don't know that Mojo does anything anymore, does he, on Factorio? What are we after? We're after circuits and then iron plate and then inserters. It's difficult to know sometimes because I don't necessarily follow them all. I just sort of, you know, kind of encounter random videos or what have you usually. Surprisingly, I spend my time making my own videos nowadays. So I want to chop these all down again. This is what I'm saying. It would be nice to just be able to set the number of items like via a slider, basically. But I say it's getting into too much complexity for what's available in the. Does it iron plate? Yeah. The actual parameterization system. Cool. We have automatic production of inserters. I never hooked up the thing here. We don't want loads of them. And you take that down to 50. Green circuits, okay. Cool, so I'm pretty sure that's everything we've researched. Oh, we've not done research in a while, have we? Exterminator's back, yeah. Good to see him kind of getting back into the groove. He started doing the mod spotlights as well. It's unfortunate what happened to him, but then, I mean, even worse what happened to Catherine in the Sky, obviously. But yeah. Yeah, good to see him back. I actually did my traditional. I always used to watch his videos. The reason I started doing my Friday Facts videos was because I used to watch his, basically. I entirely copied, what he used to do. Except that, as someone who had a little bit of experience as a programmer, I thought maybe I could add a bit more on that front. Provide a bit more detail, sort of thing. Especially because he started doing roundups and that, which I mean that's generally better, I'd still get comments on my ones where it's like, this is too long. It's like, well, you clicked on an hour-long video. What did you expect? But yeah. So I thought I'll go the other way, do in depth, and then I always get carried away is the problem. And here we go. Traditionally, this is the point. I realise I've not recoloured my character. The engineer is still plain old yellow. And now I change the colour. So what should we go with? Let's go with some sort of super blue maybe. Maybe a little bit lighter. There we go. Let's go with blue. Cool. So we need a bit of gun food. And a bit more on that. So I want some coal. So let's grab some coal from somewhere. Been quite a while since I have seen a Mojo D play Factorio, but he played other games on Twitch, like train games I've forgotten the name of, but I have not seen caught him recently, yeah. So a big bloating, yeah, about Catherine. Such a shame. Catherine was quite shocked, and you had more nonsense, and we love it. So that's kind of the point of them, really. It's a bit sort of like... it's funny, actually, because I've obviously been doing the nonsense, which is the lore videos. And they have even more of an inherent, you know, meta joke of why is he going into so much detail about, you know, a game that doesn't even have lore, really. And yet he's spending hours talking about it. But it's sort of a... yeah, it's a funny sort of a thing to then see. It's like the thing of... it's like you need to be in on the joke, in a sense, which... that's not always great, really. But... I just sort of enjoy the over-the-top nature of almost everything I do. It's just like stupidly over the top, you know. Let's top all of this up. Not that we're doing a research. Why am I not doing a research? We will grab this ammo since we know it's all full up and ready to go. What do we want to research then while we're off training? I guess we should militarise. Because if we can get red ammo and grenades, that would make things a little bit safer. And we should get military research. So when we come back from travels, we've got about 10 minutes left on the stream. And when we come back, because we need to find, I think we need to find oil. I don't think it's been, shown on the radar. It might have been. We'll have a check, but it'll be like, you know, a tiny spot or something. But we can queue up, because that's only cheap, is it? 20, yeah. So if we queue up lab research as well, and also say the first explosives, because that's fairly expensive for what it is. Maybe we queue up those two. It's just good to have the buff ones, because I can just stop them. I don't care if they get done, really. But they'll just keep ticking away. Yeah, when we come back, we will work out a way to make science with this whole snaky bus as well. So I've tried lots of different ways. I'm wondering this time about mode, because I often integrate it. I have to actually put it into the snaky bus, and it sort of becomes horrible and painful to, you know, take it out later. So I'm wondering if maybe I just steal, you know, if we do like a side thing, put it on the side. So I put some branches and, you know, take off the bits for, you know, red science and green science and military science, and just put it here maybe, and then it's easy to deconstruct. Maybe. Let us see about, where did my radars go? There we go. Let's grab a couple of them, pop that there, and we will go for an explore. Grab that on there, that on there. We'll have a look. Nope, so we definitely do not have oil in what the radars have revealed. Okay, so I've only got 5 minutes. Gonna run, just say hi, have fun. Yes, thank you very much for stopping by, much appreciated. When talking about the fog runs, did you ever say something about how small they were? No, it's weird you say. Did we discuss that before? I couldn't work out how big they really were, because I don't. There was a weird thing when I was looking at that side. I haven't and I still feel that there's it's more like a feeling that they're small, because I seem to remember going and checking basically. And if you look at how big the engineer is next to the building, oh dear, no, we don't want to say hello to them. If you look at how big the engineer is next to the buildings, then I'm not sure they were that much smaller. But the way the buildings are they sort of look, the sort of feeling I get is that they are tight. Do you know what I mean? It's I know it's sort of the way, but it's if you look at everything the engineer builds, it's weirdly oversized compared to how, and the engineer, as I've said before, I think is huge. But then every building is an inserter. The engineer and an inserter are about the same size. And have you ever seen a robotic arm, which they're obviously modelled on? They can be at least 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, tall, as it were. We've got a lot of trees around here, haven't we? Come on, oil. We know you're here somewhere. But yeah, so I think the Fulgurans are small, but it's almost more of an impression than looking at the graphics and going, well, here's the engineer and here's how big the Fulgurans must have been. Oh, I've triggered some of them. Come on, there's got to be ore somewhere. But no, it's not something I covered in the videos. Because the buildings are kind of tiny but have so many windows. Yeah, so it sort of feels like they should be small. But if you look at them compared to the engineer compared to the door, it sort of looks proportionately right. I think that's what I came to as a conclusion. But no, I say it's sort of. It is an interesting point because it does mean that the scale on Fulgura is very different. Like the buildings are, if they're tiny, then the buildings are skyscrapers, type of thing. Which it's I've actually been writing the next Fulgura video as it happens, so maybe I'll look at it again and try and weave that into it. Here we go. Oh, look at the size of that bad boy. We under iron right next to it. Okay. Did I fiddle with the... I don't remember fiddling with the patch, the settings on this. I have done in the 2.1 one. Maybe I did. I seem to remember talking about Rail World. But then, yes, I did, didn't I? I made it a Rail World, but then turned the expansion back on for the biters. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Okay, so we've got a nice oil patch. And up against the coast as well, so that'll be easy-ish to defend. Excellent. Perfect timing as well. That's what she said. Indeed. Okay. We do have some neighbours who might want to discuss us extracting their resources. So I sometimes wonder how far to go with the law stuff and that, because all this oil there as well, that's probably going to be easier to get at. What have we got biter-wise down here? That might be the one. Oh, sorry. It's alright, no need to get angry with me. Just a tourist out on their strolls, taking in the local environs. Yeah, because it's like oil, oil, requires certain geological processes and stuff. And so it would be quite interesting to think about that. But coal also requires certain geological processes and makes absolutely no sense for being on Vulcanus, because there are literally not forests. So how do you get coal? Carbon or something like that, but it is very specifically coal, and you extract sulfur from it, so it must be coal. Okay, so we've got 2 patches. Yeah, it's a railroad, isn't it? With biter expansion back on. Okay. But that'll keep us going for ages. So, what we need to do is railway then, if we're going to be bringing oils in. Let us get rid of these guys and start doing rail type fluid wagons. We need to do fluid handling, don't we? And then that's a prerequisite tech. And where are they? There we go. Let's get all of the oily things queued up. But yes, while it chugs through research, rail things, I mean, we could also add on something like that as a bit of a filler. Cool. Okay, so I am back home. Excellent. Whatever's big, yeah. Time for Export Showcase. Well, good. Look so long. Well, I'm going to pause it so I catch up. But because I need to listen to the end of the Grand Prix because they had a red flag. So I need to just listen to the last 10 laps or so. But then I'm gonna watch the Export Showcase as well, just to see what's going on. There's also the PC Gamer Showcase later on, I think. 8 o'clock, is it? UK time, so a couple of hours time. I'll try to watch that, but usually they go a bit mad, PC Gamer. It's sort of... I should put my schedule on, shouldn't I? It's about sort of 15 hours long, the PC Gamer Showcase, and 7 hours are spent on some MOBA game that I will never touch, sort of thing. So it's a good one to catch up on, because they usually have... I mean, it's more... I don't know how to say it in a sense. The whole Jeff Keighley one is a bit sort of like... It's just a bunch of trailers, People pay him £500,000 to play a trailer, and that's like the depth of it, I don't like Jeff Keighley. I think he's not a nice person. I don't think he's nasty as such, but he's not. He's all about Jeff Keighley. Is Jeff Keighley. But yeah, so I don't tend to watch that one, and I say because it's just 5 hours, 2 hours or an hour or whatever it is of trailers. I just watch the 5 trailers that are interesting to me later on. Because third-person sad dad is not exactly my genre of game. But yeah, so PC Game is a bit more in-depth usually, a bit more sort of about RTSs and, game, well, not necessarily Factorio likes, but similar sort of thing. So the interviews are worth watching sort of thing usually. But yeah, we'll see. Yes, so that's it for this week. I say my intention is to keep going with this. If it becomes too difficult, I will just sort of pause it, basically, and come back when we have 2.1 in the open beta, so that everyone can play it, and then it's NDA free and all that sort of stuff. My hope, I think, is to keep this specific save going into 2.1. Maybe. We'll have to see, or start a new one, I don't know, but it would be interesting to find out about the sort of transition across. Yes, that's obviously, so we'll be doing this on the Sundays, chatting about the Friday Facts if I can chat about them and they keep doing them. It might have just been a one-off, I guess, but I'm now thinking they'll do them every week until the 2.1 comes out, so we can chat about those if there's stuff that people want to talk about. Hopefully next time I'll have actually encountered what the Friday Facts is about, because I haven't for that one. I just read it in the patch notes, so yeah, so hopefully that'll work out. So if it does become too difficult, I will not do, I'll stop playing this and kind of avoid the Friday Facts. I don't think I will, but as I've mentioned in other streams, I do get still sent codes. In particular, there's one I want to do another stream of, was a game called Snacktorio, which is basically like Factorio, much simplified, but like flat 2D sprite, sprites type game, so it's not 3D, models or anything, but it's about feeding eldritch horrors, like feeding them, like food basically, so to make them happy, which is a lovely little concept, and I had a lot of fun streaming it. They sent me a code. It's literally £6 on Steam. So I want to do a little bit on that. So what I'm hoping is that the Saturdays I'll get some time, and I'll be able to do a couple of random streams extra on that. Just that. If you are somebody who watches my VODs, watches the streams or wants to catch up on them, or likes watching the VODs, you've seen maybe the others. I have a new. It's not new. I've had it for ages, but I have now a second channel. Have I put it on here? I didn't put it on there, did I? Dang, I thought I'd put it on there. It's on the trigger, yeah. Bum. Forgot to put it on. It's on the, if you look on the panel at the bottom of the Twitch, it's called Triggles, VODs and Sods, and I say I should have a link to it here, but I forgot, because I don't put my VODs on my main channel anymore, because it knackers, the algorithm gets very confused at the very least. But also, particularly doing other streams doesn't work with the main channel, which is still going to be Factorio. So if that's of interest to you, I'm hoping to do other videos on there. Like I want to do the substructure document that they did, where they talked about their inspirations, and they got somebody to do a bit of research on rogue planets and all that sort of stuff. So I'd love to talk about that as well. But the substructure video didn't do very well, in the sense that it got a lot of negative feedback, which I found bizarre. I guess people feel threatened or something, that there might be other games like Factorio. It's bizarre to me. So I'll be putting that type of thing on the second channel, Triggles, VODs and Sods. It's based on odds and sods, which just means bits and pieces, random stuff, which is why I've called it that. There is still the main YouTube channel that'll have the Friday Facts videos. That'll have the lore speculation. This other series I want to do on the design of the sprites and stuff, and all my Factorio video content will be on the main channel. So planning to do Sunday streams on Twitch, a few Saturday ones, maybe a few random other ones, but I'm mostly focused at the moment on getting through 2.1 playtest. If you want to follow me on socials, there's Blue Sky. I may not. I think I've edited it and not saved it, because I do not use Twitter anymore. It's gone, basically. What there is, though, is Discord. So if you wanted to chat to other people who watch my videos and speculate about lore with them in particular, or just natter about the Friday Facts and what I've said in my videos about them, what have you, then Discord is available as an option. It just got a recent revamp, so it's a lot simpler. There's just two channels, General and Factorio. So you can do that. I don't particularly use Discord myself, so you won't see me there a lot, but it's if some people prefer to use Discord to chat about stuff, but I will still be answering comments on YouTube. I'm not going to stop doing that. So that's all the sort of self-promo stuff. I say I need to go and watch or listen to the last bit of the Monaco Grand Prix, and then watch the Xbox showcase. So there we go. I think that is everything. If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it, and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.